Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and in today's video we're taking a look at the new Super Sugo Kizaru over in some PvP, seeing how he rocks and how he rolls. And honestly, like, overall, like, Kizaru is weird, man. He's just weird. I just wish that he was a shooter booster, or even better, be like a Dex shooter booster, where he can boost both Dex on the Dex team and shooters if you want to throw him on the shooter team. But lo and behold, he is a primary Dex booster, and with that, you're probably going to want to try and run shooter characters that are both Dex or sort of satisfy that sort of norm. Now, I have been running sort of like a Dex shooter team with stuff like 6+ Lucci and Frankie from Treasure Map. You have the Usopp, you have the free-to-play Kuzan, Ace, obviously. So you have a lot of options for the Dex shooter team. It's just not like a top-tier team. But what they do have is access to characters like Luffy Lucci, who are just a fantastic PvP character in their own right that you can kind of throw on the team. You also have S-Shark, who can buff fighters, so you can do some fun synergy there. And this is kind of what we come up with. So shout out to my boy Itachi. I'll link his channel down below. He likes to put out a lot of PvP content as well. I have been gassing him up lately, so because he's kind of fallen off. He's been giving me a bit of false information. So make sure to go to his channel and write Itachi fell off on all of his videos. Just, I think that'd be really funny. Plus, give the man some love. Like, he definitely deserves it. So, this is what we're rocking with. Kizaru does give level 7 HP and speed, I believe, to Dex characters. And then for the first 30 seconds of battle, he gives level 7 CD reduction to Navy and World Government units. And then if he dies, he auto-proxies special, which can do some pretty fun stuff if you are below a certain threshold HP. But the characters on this particular team that do get the buffs are Ace and then Luffy and Lucci. If you obviously are running 6+ Lucci too, he's also going to get buffed because he is a World Government unit. But Luffy Lucci also has the World Government tag as well, so you can do some fun stuff there. And then Ace is actually a Navy unit, even though Ace is never in the Navy. But the concept of this particular Ace's design is that he is a Navy-based character. So you're getting some really, really nice buffs there. You're getting a lot of cooldown reduction, and both of their specials are so ridiculously strong that you can just output tons of damage very early and then kind of cruise to the rest of the fight. Now, the problem I have with this, though, is that once you kind of hit that middle portion of the fight, you're very flimsy, and Luffy Lucci, not getting many buffs from the rest of the team, basically just melts. So that is a bit of a downside, but the 7 HP, the 7 speed and attack that Kizaru gives, like I said, it just allows you to do so much damage early, but in turn, it's not actually going to someone like Luffy and Lucci. But having Usopp on the team as well, allowing you to get a bit of cooldown reduction to the enemy passively, just in his kit, allows you to slow them down a little bit. Again, allowing you to just use your specials very quickly, very swiftly, and just outputting a lot of damage. The HP buff and the defensive buff that S-Shark can give does help out a little bit too, because you are just getting straight Dex buffs with him. But then he's also buffing fighter characters, which include himself. And then obviously Luffy Lucci just trying to keep them alive. But as you can see there, like just dying to an Akainu special is just kind of crazy. Having them die that early, it's not the end of the world though, because then you have a character come in and take their special. So if you have Kuzan on the bench, for example, Kuzan's going to come in and just take that special up and then just give the shooter buffs to everyone. He's a Dex character, so he also retains everyone else's buff. So you have like good options when it comes to that first line of the bench. Say something does happen like you guys just saw there with the Akainu and you just absolutely get ass blasted. But Kizaru does have that ability to auto-proc when he dies. It's a big part of his ability. Just like characters like YBD and Ace, characters like Garp, when he dies, he just jumps to the top of the line with a maxed out special and just pops it very, very nicely. The downside to this, though, is that if Kizaru dies second, then you do have characters like Esper and Kuma coming in with no special charge. It does eat up the special charge, though, so those characters that come in after Kizaru, they just don't see any benefit. So there it is right there. We get the speed buff, we get the damage buff, just basically for free. We also get the cooldown reduction too if we have, say, Ace, or if we have oh, actually no, we didn't, he didn't die. Interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Okay, he didn't die, so that was awesome. But if he does die and uses special, character that replaced him, you're going to be waiting a while for their special. Now that's not totally the end of the world, because like obviously like you have cooldown reduction and you can build up specials again. The characters that come in are buffing shooters, so then you're having a little bit of synergy there with Esper, with Aokiji, and then if, say, Luffy Lucci's still alive, like, you're getting synergy that way. But it just can be a little bit of a detriment. The special of Kizaru, though, is pretty strong. Targets one enemy for 8,000 damage with the highest HP, and then gives a level 6 attack and speed buff to Dex characters. And then if you're below 1% HP, he does 5,000 fixed damage to all enemies. Plus, he gives a 10% cooldown to characters with the Navy or the World Government tag. So he's on a 20-second cooldown. It's ridiculously fast. 9 times out of 10, you're going to see him go very, very early, which is then going to give the 10% cooldown to Luffy, Lucci, and Ace, which allows them to use their specials pretty much right off rip. Within the first 30 seconds, you're going to see their specials going. And as you can see there with Ace, he hits very, very hard with the defensive drops. And then Luffy, Lucci can actually bypass defense. So they're also hitting ridiculously hard too. So another character that you can kind of throw on the team if you don't treasure out Usopp is Usopp Lilith. At this particular point, we're just sort of like morphing more into a shooter-based setup. And again, this is where I feel like Kizaru would have just been way better if he had shooters in his buffs. Again, if it was Dex shooters like Sai Robin, for example, who does Sai and Cerebral characters, like that would just be monumental for the unit, because his abilities, his passive, they're all very, very good. It's just that trying to synergize Dex characters with him, that can be a bit of an issue. And Dex Powerhouse seems to have fallen off quite a bit. Characters like Verse Kaido and Big Mom are starting to sort of see little less and less play with the resurgence of like the driven Powerhouse team with Big Mom Katakuri and Kaido King and like Pika and those types of characters. So running like that type of Dex team, unless you have them at level like 150 and your other characters are like level 99, like you're probably not going to see that much benefit from those types of units. So running more of a shooter-centric team, it's definitely going to be the way, especially with Kizaru in the makeup. That's not to say you can't throw like Verse Kaido and Big Mom on the Dex team with Kizaru, but I feel like shooters are definitely going to be something that you sort of gravitate towards a little bit more when it comes to building out your Dex-based teams. But if Kizaru had the option of buffing shooters as well, it would just drastically increase the stocks of characters like Usopp Lilith on this team, with characters like Luffy Lucci on this team. You could then throw stuff like S-Snake in the mix. You used to have stuff like Khalifa. Like, you can just do some really, really nice things. Like, S-Bear in the front would be a much, much more formidable option. And you just be able to, like, tear through lineups. Because, like I said, having the World Government and Navy tag just, like, drastically buffs Luffy Lucci. You could run Zorakaku as well. They're technically the World Government as well because of the Kaku tag. Ace obviously is like the big one that you will be missing out on, because the Navy buff that Ace has is just ridiculously powerful alongside Kizaru. But at the same time, the trade-off, it's definitely worth it. And on top of that, like, you could just still throw Ace in the mix. Like, he's still a shooter, still a Dex character, but then obviously Ace won't be buffing those other units. Ace's synergy with Luffy Lucci, though, obviously is very, very nice, because Ace does need either a Garp or a Luffy character to get all of his abilities. So just having Luffy Lucci on the team, it just unlocks that too. So it's not like you're missing out on value by throwing Luffy Lucci on the team and them not getting all of the buffs like other characters. But like you can see, like that was a full HP shot from Big Mom Katakuri, and they just die. But then you have Kuzen come in, and Kuzen has a full special ready to go. And the Kuzen special is actually very, very good. Like, the nerfing he does is great. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the Navy tag. Makes sense though, because he's now a Blackbeard pirate. But if he had the Navy tag too and was just getting even more buffs underneath Kizaru, or say he had like World Government or something like that, which again would make sense that he doesn't because he's a Blackbeard pirate. But that would just make this Aokiji even better. Or if say Kizaru did something with like Egghead characters, that would just make him ridiculously strong too. S-Shark was a bit of a surprising one. S-Shark in the middle, his countering is what makes him so good. But on top of that, he buffs fighters too. So like I said, Luffy Lucci can hold it down a little bit better in the front there. But Kizaru overall, like I said, fantastic passive, fantastic abilities. The downside is that he just purely buffs Dex. And if only he buffs shooters as well, the character would see way more play. Not only in in Grand Party, like it's like you can't really run. Well, you could definitely run 2 shooter teams. But over in PvP, like he would be an absolute force, because shooters are probably the best team in the game right now, alongside maybe Driven, Fighter, Powerhouse, that sort of like morphed up team with like Pika and Strength Luffy, Big Mom Katakuri, like those types of characters. But shooters, like they're definitely knocking on the door as probably the best team in the game. I'd probably say that they are the best team in the game. So if he could just slide in on that team, like stuff would be crazy. Or if he had like, say, just shoot a slasher to give slashers a little bit of help too, that would be really, really nice to see. But let me know what you guys think of Kizaru in the comment section below. Way down there, belt like button. Hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. Please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. Let's